Yo. What's going on, guys? This is episode 14 of Rage Radio, platform for up-and-coming artists to have their voices heard and their content appreciated. I'm D-Rage. I'm a music producer from Bay City, Michigan. I'm here with my co-host.
What's going on? I go by the name WUNDR. I'm also a music producer here in Bay City, Michigan. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, we appreciate your support. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe so you never miss out on some of this content coming your way.
Of course. And obviously, if you've been with us for a little while now, up until episode 14 now, or if you're a new listener, we can't thank you for all the support you guys have given us lately.
Yes, most definitely. Links to our social media will be in the description below this video, so go ahead and make sure you guys check us out so you guys, can see what else we do.
Yeah, and leave us a comment. Like, we really want to hear about who you want to see on the show or new directions you want to see the show go, or any new skits or anything you want to see. Anything from Rage Radio that you want to see new.
Most definitely. Your feedback will help us be able to produce the best content out there, so let us know. We really want to know what we can do to be better.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, like always, we have a guest today. He goes by Gordy Garris. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hello. How's it going?
What's going on, dude?
Thanks for stopping in today.
It's always it's always super weird, like introducing yourself on the show.
A little bit.
Like, it's always like, hey,
Hey.
I'm the artist. So what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Can't complain,
I'm good. I'm kicking, ready to do this interview. So
very cool.
We're having you here today. Just to start out, kind of describe to the people what you do, what it is that you say your occupation is. What the reason you're on the show?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Gordy Garris. I'm a singer and songwriter from Saginaw, Michigan. I'm 23 years old, and I've been doing this long time now. A good 5 years. I've been touring around the country playing shows, and for me, I love the music. I love playing, so it's something that's never gonna get old.
Gotcha. So you've kind of been around the country playing a little bit.
Yeah. In 2014 was the first time I really got out of my comfort zone. My buddy and I, Truth Jones, and I flew out to Los Angeles. We played a show out there. Super fun.
How was that?
Yeah.
It was cool. We went to this Mexican club.
Mm-hmm.
It was called La Caveta, which is Spanish for the cave, and very cool venue and very nice receptive crowd. It was fun to play, to a packed, house in LA. I mean, it was a very cool city. I loved it.
Did you fly out there with the knowledge, knowing that was going to be the trip? Like that's how it was going to go? You just kind of
we had no idea. See, the thing was I have Reverb Nation, right? I still do. And I submit, I paid, $10 or whatever on the account, and I submitted my content, my song. I'd submit a song out to showcase my work, and I'd send it to all these different people. And one of the people was a music festival that was happening in LA. It was called UBloom, and it was the first year that they were doing it, the inaugural year of the UBloom Music Festival in Los Angeles. They've done it, I think, 3 or 4 years in a row now. But I sent it to them, and the people that run it are actually from Europe, I believe Ireland, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, very cool. And they liked it, so they got back with me and they said, "Hey, we want you to come out and play." So LJ at the time, I didn't even know LJ. I hadn't even met the guy. And he was my buddy on Reverb Nation. We both liked each other's music.
Right.
And I hit him up because I was looking for somebody to go with. I was only 20 years old at the time, and actually 19. I was 19.
19.
Yeah, and I wanted to go out there and fly out there, and mom, God love her, I love my mom, but she's, I'm an only child, so she goes, "Oh no, you can't, you can't do that. You can't go out to Los Angeles on your own." And I'd never even flown on my own before, so
definitely like an adventure going out there. I actually went out there for the first time last August to kind of do to help a friend move in a little bit and be out there with him, but it was also I wanted to just be out there for the first time and experience the biggest place in the country for music.
City, for music.
You just go out there, and we've talked about this before on the show, but it's so much different than just being in a smaller city as far as music and stuff. People are super receptive, to people doing it.
Absolutely, man. It's a big music town, so it's super cool whenever you get to go out there and do music. And so, long story short, because we'll get to more stories, I'm sure, tonight on the interview. So LJ and I got together. I messaged him on Reverb or whatever. We added each other on Facebook.
Yep.
He didn't even have a profile picture on his Facebook. It was his music, his mixtape cover art or whatever. So I don't know what he looks like. I don't know, what he sounds like. I never even talked to him on the phone or anything. We just text each other, said, "All right, let's meet up." So we go to a Subway. We meet up. I walk in. I look around. And, there's a guy sitting there. I walk up to him. I'm like, "You LJ?" He's like, "Yeah, man." And I was like, "What's up, man?" So
I had no idea what he looked like.
Yeah, and I told him about my proposition. I said, "I need somebody to go to Los Angeles with me." I said, "Will you be the guy?" He said, "Heck yeah, man, let's go." And he bought his ticket. I bought mine, and we flew out together.
It's quick.
And the rest is history.
No
So
talking.
would you say that going to LA kind of kickstarted your career as far as for touring?
I think so, definitely. It was the first like big show for me where I left, Michigan, got on a plane, went somewhere I'd never been before, and got up on stage and played in front of a crowd where I knew no one. And I practically didn't even know the guy next to me. Of course, we became best friends throughout the trip, because we spent almost a week together out there. Mm-hmm. We're like friends for life for sure.
And I can't stress this enough, and I say this often here. You really got to put yourself in positions to be uncomfortable to see some success. And luckily you said, something in there said I need to do this because look where you're at now.
And that's hard. Like that's definitely not something like a lot of people say. Just put yourself in uncomfortable positions or get out of your comfort zone. Like, obviously, it's not easy to do that. So, like, for people that really maybe are too anxious to even do that or too, struck up on what people think of them, it's like that's probably something that you don't want to hear a lot. Is you just have to do it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I know it's Nike's slogan or whatever, but it's the truth. Right. Really, you gotta if you never try, then you'll never know.
Then I did, before we get a little further into the interview, I just wanted to go ahead and thank you again for coming here.
My pleasure. Absolutely, you guys. Thank you for having me.
We did mention, we always say, email us, let us know if you want to be on the show. And this guy was the first person to email us, reach us out through email. And
very professional.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, shout out good grammar.
That's what I'm saying.
Good email. Shout out good emails,
good
man.
Good email etiquettes.
No, for real. That gets you places, having a good format.
Well, seriously, just hey or hello, blank, and then what you want to say. I am so and so, and I'd like to come on the show. Blah blah blah. I do this. Here's some of my music. Please get back with me soon. Hope to hear from you soon. Something like that. Yeah. Thank you.
It was short too. I noticed that there wasn't a lot to read in the email. It was more so
straight to the
here's
point.
the links to my shit. You know what I mean? Take it. Like, this is what I want. So, you've flown out to LA. You've gotten your email etiquette down, and would you say that this is kind of like music is a calling? Do you think, or is it like? And if it is, like, why? Why do you think that?
Well, I'm a pretty religious person. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and most definitely. Music is definitely a calling for me. I feel like I have a good message to convey to the world and positive thoughts, positive vibes that I want to share with my music with as many people as I can. And, I went to school, to be a nurse for that same reason. But the reason I do music is the exact same thing. The greater good, how many people can I help?
Exactly.
And the more people I can connect with, the better, because it's more people that I can influence and help. That was probably the biggest turning point for me when I went from just a musician to an artist. And I went, I had people that would message me, man, I listen to your song every day. It's what helps me get out of bed in the morning. Just stuff like that. It's like, wow. I really touched that I affected that person.
And do you get that feeling? Do you get the same feeling of helping people through being a nurse as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. I love doing it. And it was an easy decision for me to go to school and finish it. Because I had been doing it, going on and off, part-time to school, full-time here and there, 6 years now. I graduated high school in 2012. It's 2018 now, and I finally just now graduated with my degree, and I'm working as a nurse, but it was totally worth it.
And where'd you graduate from? Where'd you go to school?
Delta College.
Nice, okay.
Rep the Pioneers.
Yeah, I like that school.
What I want to say, though, real quick, though, too, because it seems like you're a selfless person, and you said you're religious and stuff like
Absolutely,
that, and I believe, it's really nice to see you coming off as a selfless person, and I feel like that might be a lot to your success. A lot of good karma coming your way, and that's you got to thank the Lord for that.
You only get what you give, man.
That's really good that you're out here trying to spread some positivity. That's what we need. And
right.
Well, absolutely. I mean, a lot of my songs, that's what it's about. Positivity or a good message or a good thought. Like "Run Through the Streets," for example, was one where Truth Jones and I came together for our first collab, and I had this hook, and at the time when I wrote it, it was just a hook. I said, this is cool, put the melody and the words together. It started to make a little more sense, and then things started to happen. We had the rioting in Baltimore and Ferguson, things like that. And then I went, wow, this would be a really cool song to use that for, and just say, hey, you can protest and be peaceful about it. And that was the idea of the song.
Definitely you can.
Yeah.
Why can't you?
Yeah.
Why can't you? And
freedom of speech, and I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I agree. I think music is a good way to express that.
Absolutely. The best.
The act of being free to say whatever
say
you
what
want.
you want to say.
You know, it seems like you've got like a lot of someone. It seems like someone sat you down and taught you like the right ways to write music. Like I just heard you say like putting words to melody. That's kind of like a common thing among songwriters. Is like if you write something out, you want to be. You want to put those words to that melody. It's like a function of writing music. Like, did someone actually teach you how to do some of these things, or was it?
No, I've taught myself how to do pretty much everything when it comes to music. My parents were both musicians, so they like would put like a guitar in my hands or something when I was a little kid. I started playing guitar when I was 9, and piano when I was 13. But I basically taught myself how to play both of them. I had lessons here and there, but I really, when I got down into it and would sit down and just sit and play for hours at a time, literally till my fingers would bleed every night. You know, that was when I was like, I really love this.
Yep, it was consuming you, and you loved doing it.
Right.
It didn't feel like it was a hassle, I bet.
Yeah, and I mean, I was a little kid, and I was rebellious, or whatever you want to call it, and I'd sit and, man, I'm going to listen to this new Green Day album. I'd sit and I'd jam to it, you know.
What were some of the first songs you remember learning as a kid that made you really, like, fall in love with playing music?
On the guitar, I basically, the whole American Idiot album, for Green Day, I got that front to back. That was like the first album I really sat down and just picked apart on the electric guitar.
Right.
Because, my parents knew that electric guitar was a lot easier for me because you don't have that dexterity built up in your fingers, and what you need is calluses on your actual fingers. That's why my fingers would bleed so much, because they were starting to develop, and I'd be able to play easier. So with the electric guitar, it's not quite as hard. The strings aren't quite as hard on your fingers. So I was able to, pick that up and just play that as a little kid. And the neck of the guitar was actually a lot thinner, too, than an acoustic.
Yeah.
Acoustic, so.
Touching on, like, people telling you that your music is, like, getting them through a day or stuff. Like, was there a time that you remember that you were like, man, I'm actually starting to get success through what I'm doing? Or was there, like, a turning point where someone said something to you that you were like, I'm actually doing something? Or how did that happen?
For songwriting, I'll go back to that thought, to answer that question. Nobody really taught me, but I would sit and just keep chugging and write hundreds and hundreds of songs. I probably got 1,000, in the past, because I started writing when I was 16. I was in high school, and I have hundreds and hundreds of songs just sitting there, that I never put on an album. People never hear them because I didn't think they were good enough.
Yeah, but look where you're at now. I guess you were saying you might be in a position to be getting some record deals.
That's what I'm looking to
shopping around a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
What's that process like?
Well, the music industry is very hard to get into to begin with, and you have to have proper representation. To this point, I've never signed a single deal because I'm holding out for the right one. And for me, it's a no-brainer because it's a business too. And
exactly.
You have to treat it like that. Like the email, for example, right?
Yeah.
You got to have that professionalism, that etiquette, that people look at you and go, wow, this guy's got some class. Like, this guy's got his stuff together.
You're not just Twitter DMing people to get on stuff.
Like, hey, dog, what's... No.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you got to be a little...
So what would be kind of like your kind of ideal of a record label, like a distribution deal, maybe, perhaps?
You got to start somewhere. So publishing deal, distribution, something like that to start off, but it's got to be... I got to keep my rights initially.
You want the rights to your music, yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't blame you for that.
Because if you give away your rights too soon, who knows what could happen. You see so many great bands in the past 10, 20, 30 years that did that, and then they got shafted because the song took off and the record label took them for everything they were worth because of the deal they signed, and they didn't read the fine print.
Yeah, there's a lot of record deals. Deals are weird because, like, it seems like we've talked about this on the show before too. Like, there seems like a lot of people that are in the industry now that it's like they've got maybe their 1 or 2 hits that they've gotten, whether it be a rapper or whatever. But it still seems like there's some people that just are like they're not expressing their full creativity in their way. Like you can almost tell there's some stuff going on behind the scenes that is like they're almost having to agree with to just stay afloat. What I mean?
There's no substance. They don't write the songs. And that for me that's where I draw the line. It's like I write the song, I play the song, and I play it live.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, it's always going to be your voice. So when they record your voice, I don't care if you're Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber. It's still going to be your voice on the tracks. They can never take that away from you. But they don't write the songs anymore. A lot of them don't. A lot of the artists don't. And
if they do, they have help.
Absolutely. And you look at a hit song that's at the top of the charts. There's usually like 6, 10, 12 songwriters on a song. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and you go,
crazy.
wow. You know, and for me, that I've never, like, once, and I can count on one finger once, I collabed with somebody, and I wrote all of my parts, and then I asked them to do one thing, which was come up with the rap verse, which is what I had LJ do.
So do you see yourself wanting to get into a position where, like, you have people not writing your songs, but helping you, like multiple people helping write a song? Yeah. I think that's good.
So I do want to ask.
You have to be open-minded. Go ahead, though.
I want to ask, like, how do you go about your writing process? How do you find inspiration to, like, literally sit down and write about something?
Things that happen. Life experiences is the number one for me. You know,
I can't imagine, like, writing a song. It just seems like it's just hard, like a hard thing to do.
We both don't do it.
I call it, I mean, you can, like, refer to it as an art form, yeah, because it takes practice, just like any other instrument. You know, it is in itself an instrumentation of your mind.
It just blows my mind. Like, some of my friends that are, you know, music artists, and the way they put words together, and it's like something I can never fathom to even do, you know? Yeah. It's like, wow, you know?
Yeah, I'll sit down, you know, and when I was a little kid, this is kind of how I started doing it and first started writing songs. I'd either pick up the guitar, I'd pluck a melody, I'd figure out, you know, what I wanted the melody to be, and then I'd put words to it. That was how I did the first song I ever wrote, which is Back to Me. And we redid that again, you know, last year, shot a new music video for it this year. And that was kind of like, okay, you know, this is a good starting point for me. But let's keep going. Let's do more stuff. So then I'd sit down at the piano, you know, and I'd pluck out the melody that way, and I'd usually do it simultaneously. Like, I'll do, and I'll be throwing words at it as soon as I'm already got the melody going, you know? And that was how I would write songs for the most part.
That's interesting that you play different instruments as well. Like, is there a certain instrument that you feel like that you're more prominent on as far as like getting inspiration from? Like, do you feel like you can write a song faster and better on a guitar, or do you think you have to have all your instruments wrapped into one song to really get that benefit out of it?
It used to be the guitar, and I used to always just sit, guitar, boom, let's write the song. Almost every single song I ever wrote from the age of 16, probably till about the age of 20, was specific to the guitar almost 100% of the time. And then I started to experiment with the piano and get my ballads, and that was how I would write ballads, because you'd sit down and you'd pluck at notes and you'd go, wow, this sounds very nice, you know. And that was how I wrote Stole My Heart. I came back home from California, from my trip to California, and I wrote the song on the piano. I sat down at the piano and just started playing it, and I said, you know, this sounds pretty good.
And so we got a multi-talented guy here, basically.
Right.
You know,
multiple instruments.
That's what I'm saying.
Shout out playing instruments too, right?
Exactly. And then on top of that, can sing. Like, I feel like you can't beat it.
But like you guys were saying earlier, you got to surround yourself with people that are more talented. It's so crucial to put people around you in your circle, in your corner, that are better than you.
Know more about anything.
I mean, just everything. Like in general, I played with so many talented guitar players, so many talented drummers, and other songwriters that are really talented, and producers that are super talented, and people that have, you know, maybe more talent in their pinky than I probably do in my whole body. I'm totally okay with that, because at the end of the day, they're helping what I'm trying to do too.
Exactly.
They're helping me.
How are you gonna get
It's a
better?
good mindset.
Yeah. How are you gonna get better? Just staying in the same lane, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think there's different ways, in my opinion, to view the music industry. You know, you can get in through a traditional way of, I guess, just being really good at your instrument and just like, and maybe just focusing on you. And I think the route that I personally, and I think Willie shares too, is linking up with people that, like you were saying, are more talented with you, and just building from there, building relationships and meeting new people all along the way that are all just better than you. And that's how you get into the industry. That's how, I think that's just the dream way of doing it. You know what I mean? Rather than just focusing on yourself.
Most definitely.
You know, but
I think this would be a good time.
Good time for the performance. Yeah, I was thinking so too. Yeah. So, what songs are you playing for us today?
This first song I'm gonna play for you guys today is called "Let Me In."
It was just to find my way. But no one's there to save you now. Just to find your way somehow. No one's there to save you now. Just to find your way. And it's you. It's you who let me in. And it's you. Yeah, it's you who let me in. When your reasons are wrong, you look to find what's right. And all along, it was just out of sight. But no one's there to save you now. Just to find your way somehow. No one's there to save you now. Just to find your way. And it's you. Yeah, it's you who let me in. And it's you. It's you who let me in. And it's you. Whoa, it's you who let me in. When your dreams all fail and you've lost your way, don't give up on your dreams, 'cause your dreams start today. It's you who let me in. And it's you. It's you who let me in. And it's you. Oh, it's you who let me in. And it's you. It's you who let me in. And it's you. Oh, it's you who let me in. It's you who let me in. And it's you. It's you who let me in. And it's you. It's you who let me in.
Welcome back to episode 14 of Rage Radio. You guys just heard Gordy Garris. That was
Yes.
good, man.
That was a good one.
Thank you, guys.
How do you feel about that performance? Good?
Real good. Real
Yeah.
good. Solid.
Yeah. Some of your favorite songs to perform?
Oh, I mean, it's just so fun playing with the loop station. You know, getting
Yeah.
to loop the beat, loop the guitar part, loop the background vocals, and then turn them all around and send them out at the crowd, or in this
Yeah.
case, the studio.
Do you ever get nervous? One thing I wanted to like actually touch on, because I've seen you live and I've also seen you practicing in the studio before you actually did that performance. Do you ever get nervous on stage? Like, and I make beats too, and I've played drums for a while, so I know all about like being off beat and stuff like that, and like feeling how it feels to be like, damn, like my whole band just looked at me for being off beat. Like, do you ever get nervous about being on stage and looping it and being off? Like one of your parts that you recorded to loop is off, and then your whole
Throws the whole thing
stage
off,
gets
yeah.
thrown off. Do you ever get nervous about that?
No, because the nice thing is I can just click a button, delete, and I'll just keep playing the guitar, and the crowd goes, that's funny. I thought there was a beat there.
Nope.
Start looping again. Get the
Yeah.
beat correct. Nobody
Yeah.
knows there was even a mistake.
Yeah,
Except me.
I
you know?
I just wanted to ask that because like your last show or not last
At
your-
the pub.
when
Yeah.
you performed with Jordan Yackel.
Yeah.
At the same show,
Yeah, at the
I had
pub.
noticed, like I was just watching you perform, and I noticed that there was like one song where your tapping was a little off, and you just corrected it by doing another.
Yeah, I
another
cleared the
one.
whole thing out, kept playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just curious if you ever get nervous.
Does it
about
help
that?
that you got the earpiece in too?
Absolutely.
Right away? You
You
just
know,
boom.
that right there, I mean, I have it running right now too, which is nice because then I can hear everything really well. But when it's live, I can hear the beat, you know, right in my ears. Boom, it's in there, just like in there. When I did it, I could hear the beat, and I have my time. Like, that's my time signature, so I'm playing to the beat, and we're good. You know? The moment you can't hear the beat, you got a problem. It's like, hey, sound guy, I can't hear the beat.
Fucking Juan.
Turn it, Juan.
Yeah.
I love Juan. Local sound guy.
Yeah, no, everybody that just that witnessed me just say his name wrong before, Gordy's name wrong before we went into the performance. I'm sorry, I'm fucking dumb.
Well, I said Gory.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Why is her name so hard to say?
I don't know, man.
Gordy, Harry.
Gary Gordis.
Gary Gordis.
Groden Garrison. No.
Anyway,
we'll get it right eventually. It's all right.
So obviously, are you a one-man band or do you play with more people?
Okay, so there's two sides to that story. For the longest time, you know, I felt like I needed a band, and I would go out of my way to round up, you know, people, friends of mine that were musicians. We'd go out, we'd play the shows. I'd, you know, help, you know, teach them all my songs, you know, because they'd have to learn them from scratch, you know, and it was tough, you know, because people like playing to an extent, you know, but when it comes to songs they didn't write, it's harder because they don't have that connection to the songs like I do.
True.
And when the band was literally called the Gordy Garris Group, people didn't. I don't know. I think that was probably hard for people too, because when you're in a band, I think it's easier to feel like a unit when it's just Metallica or even Coldplay.
Exactly.
Like, come on, it's just a band. It's the name, you know. Versus this band is named after this person. You know, people instantly would go, "Well, you're an egotistic." No, I'm not. It was just like at the time, it like rolled off the tongue well, and it was like 3Gs. Like people knew the group, you know.
Yeah, you signed our table with 3Gs.
See, I got a different view on that though,
Yeah.
because like when me and D-Rage first started talking about doing this, like it says Rage Radio. His producer name is D-Rage, and
Right.
I don't think a lot of people know I play just as an equal role as he does.
Right.
But
Sometimes more.
yeah,
More of a
like,
role than me, to be
you know.
honest
But the
with
thing
you.
is, like, I don't feel that way. He was like, dude, I want to start Rage Radio. I'm like, bro, that name is fire.
Oh yeah.
And like it's like I don't feel any type of way of like Rage Radio. Like it sounds
Oh yes, it's a cool name.
you know,
and
Comes off the tongue well.
yeah, I can see how people could like, you know, feel a way about that, like band members, but like we work together, you know, equally, like, you know, and we get along just as well, and then so do our guys, our teammates here.
No,
we
and
don't ever feel a way like that.
I appreciate every single person I ever played with and their talent. They were all phenomenal musicians in their own right, and for me, the decision came to just simplicity, and it wasn't like I had trouble working with this person or that person. Everybody was super cool to work with that I've ever worked with, and I tried to give them that same energy
Exactly.
back. And for me, it was just simplicity. You know, it's a lot easier to go solo, you know, and have the loop station and just play everything out. It's like if there's a mistake, it's always on me.
And then another
you know,
thing is
nobody
like,
else has to feel bad if they make a mistake because it's not their mistake. It's mine.
and it's just easier. Like you're one person. Like you don't have to.
Everybody always shows up for practice.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, you
That's
know,
funny.
so you're
That's
not
funny.
stretched thin. You know, I definitely feel that. You ever think you'll ever find your way maybe to being in a band one day? Or are you just kind of just nah?
Well, there's a band that I play with right now. It's actually a hip-hop group called The People. And I just play the keys and sing with them. I shouldn't say just. They're a cool group of guys, and I love playing with them. And those are my buddies. You know, that was half the band is the original members of the Gordy Garris group, you know, and we just kept playing together because we love playing together. And we just wanted to give it a different name and a different vibe so that we could all bring together our talent and just make music happen. And that's what we did at the hip-hop showcase last week.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Playing with people is just so much better than playing by yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? Like,
It's nice to have both.
both is, both
And then
is
it
great,
kind
I
of,
think.
what I like too about like, well, at least for production-wise together, like sometimes you just get a little biased to yourself. Or if you don't know if it's whack, like, you know, it's kind of nice to have someone be like, yeah, man, it's not sounding that good. You know,
I bounce it off of people that I know and trust, like my mom, for example. She's savage when it comes to that. If it's not good, if it doesn't sound good, and Mom can back me up on that. She's in the studio, in behind the glass. Hey, Mom. No, she'll go, hey, you know, this doesn't sound right, or I didn't like that, or she'll tell me the sound sucked at this venue. You didn't sound good. Maybe whether it was me or just the sound guy didn't quite drop the ball or whatever. But she'll tell me every time if something was off, or she'll say, no, everything went just like it should have. It sounded good. You know?
Dude, shout out. We've talked about this before though, but shout out supportive parents.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, most definitely.
Big facts, because man,
That was a long way.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I know. You know, I mean, I don't not even to like down people that maybe their parents aren't even supportive of their craft or anything, or don't go out of their way to like support them like that. But It's a good feeling.
This is not a pat on the back industry. I feel like it's either you got to have something dope with whether it's production side or the lyrics. Something in there has to be dope.
Not everybody gets a trophy like in softball,
Exactly.
baseball, t-ball. It's like, oh, every participation trophy. No,
No.
it doesn't happen in the real world.
Especially if you really want to make an impact, you really just got to have it all together. You got to be rolling on all cylinders.
You got to be on your own schedule and your own mindset. It almost feels like it's not. The music industry is not something where people are going to be like, you know what. He's not in this and not in this day. I would say people are going to see small amounts of talent and build you up to be the next star. It's almost like, oh, he is the next star right now. Now we're going to take him and use him how we want to use him because he's the big star. Because we see that. You know what I mean? Like it's. I think, and it just in my experience, it's been a lot different than being able to just like groom people. I wish it would go back to the art of grooming an artist to be big.
Oh, yeah, with A&R reps that would go to shows and they'd scout and say, I'm going to try and sign that band. I'm going to get them signed. I'm going to help them,
Even if they're not A game right now, like they have flaws.
They have potential.
Yeah.
And I'm going to help them.
If the potential's there, then there should be some type of grooming instead of just, seeing amazing talent that's already basically where they should be and taking them under a wing, per se. You know what I mean?
I feel like we do that a little bit here, though, at Indie Spot.
Well, I'm going to be the first person to say this area, by far, one of the most talented areas in the country for music. There's so many talented bands in this area, artists, singers, songwriters, and they're here.
It's unbelievable.
They're just here. They're just here in this little area in the Tri-Cities, in Saginaw Bay City, Midland, in this area.
We've said that before, too.
And
we think
there's
that.
something about it, and eventually it's going to just turn over a leaf, and everybody's going to go, wow, look at this guy, look at that guy, look at this guy. And if I'm the first person that comes from this area, I'm going to be the first person to come back and say, I need this guy signed, and that guy signed, and I'm taking them with me to wherever.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're doing here is, anybody that we think is worth, I guess just in a simple way of saying anybody that has the potential that we would like to see other people be interested in when you go to sign somebody, that's what we're doing is, if we think you have potential to go to the next step, we'd like to help you there. You know what I mean? That's
which is cool.
Literally the point of this show. Yeah. There's no other point but that simple saying of we want to help you get to that next step. And speaking of like next steps, I think this is a good transition, I guess. You're shooting a documentary.
Yes.
Obviously the crowd can't see
our guy, but he's in here shooting.
We have another camera guy with us today that's never been with us before. So explain kind of like the goal of this documentary and why exactly you are shooting this in the first place.
Okay, so as an artist, the development of my career, I think, is something I want to share with the people that listen to my music and the fans that I make along the way. Because I want them to know where I started and what it took to get to where I want to go.
How long do you plan on shooting this documentary for?
As long as it takes to get where I want to be.
I think that's really dope because like I often find myself artists that I like, I'm looking up documentaries, their startup or before they were this or before they were that. So like that's literally what you're doing right now.
Did you see Logic's on Netflix? The one he shot?
I did not. No, I did not.
Logic is one on Netflix?
Yeah, he has one on Netflix. It's a series. You can check it out. Yeah, it's super cool.
But I think that's dope.
That was how I got the idea. Actually,
I can't wait to see this actually come out. You know, when it comes out, maybe be a few years down the road. But
hopefully in the next year or two, I'm hoping.
That'd be fire.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
I think a lot of people have jumped on that wave of shooting like earlier in their career stuff. I think it's cool.
You should, because it's honestly it's awesome. it's putting you in a position to have more motivation. Like I'm gonna make it. This is the
background. It's like I go home, I get up in the morning, I do this, I do that. Here's my crib, MTV Cribs kind of thing. Like this is where I play in my basement.
Mm-hmm.
So how often do you guys shoot? Like daily, weekly? What is it?
It's more like on a weekly or monthly basis.
Kind of like when you got something big.
When I got something going on. This is my something for this week and this month.
Well, I'm glad we can be that something.
I'm glad you guys can be too. Thank you for having me.
For sure.
Yeah. Gonna be in that documentary. So, man, there's a lot I want to talk about. There's so much. It's every episode.
So much.
Every episode, I'm like fumbling to like talk about standard stuff where it's like go off the track. But I think we got a lot of topics here. I think so outside of music, you've done a lot of stuff with music. It sounds like you've been in a lot of bands, been around talented people. But like, is there anything that really inspires you like outside of like not even music related? Like off camera, we were talking about like mountain biking and stuff like that. Like anything you love to do.
Two things that are important, personally to me that I do like in my spare time. Is pool. I shoot pool more than I do anything else. Like I have, I captain 2 different pool leagues here in Bay City that I do Monday and Tuesday nights, and that I'm gonna be anyway this summer. And I love shooting pool. I go to Who's Who Billiards. Shout out to them. They rock.
Hey,
yeah,
sponsors?
Right on Broadway, man. They're right down the road.
Hey, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And best tables in the Tri-Cities by far. Each table's like $4 or $5 grand. They're diamond tables, bar boxes, the same style they have in Vegas. I love shooting on them. Phenomenal tables.
How did you get into something like playing pool?
Friends. Actually ran into at Delta College while I was going to school for nursing. And they had a pool table, it was an 8-footer there. And they did a pool tournament. I decided to play in it. And I met people that shot pool. And one of them I became friends with. And he took me to the pool hall, introduced me to the pool hall. And I fell in love with the place. I shoot there more than anywhere else. That was like my home away from home for like a whole year. I'd go there and shoot. And I was terrible. I sucked. I could barely even hold the stick correctly,
Yeah.
And I, just from being around all those talented pool players, it helped me, grow my game as a pool player and as a person, because it's always humbling to meet people that are really, really good at whatever you're trying to be good at. And pool was one of those things too. Mm-hmm. Another thing is photography. I've done photography, marine photography since I was like 6. I started doing that. Go down to the river,
Yep.
And I got a couple pics published in books now, but I love doing that. And I still go, if the weather's nice or I think I can get a cool shot at the sunset with some birds or some water or some boats down at the river, I'll go down there and get some shots.
The thing about the pool thing goes back to being around people that are just better than you. You mentioned that all being around those people that were fantastic at playing pool made you into what you are now.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It
I'm
all
a lot
kind of
better
wraps
now.
into each other.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I do want to ask though too.
Yes.
Are you doing all this stuff on your own as far as like your website,
Yes.
your music,
Yes.
all that?
Yes.
That's all you.
Yes. All my social media accounts, everything. Is
it tiring?
Absolutely. If I could hire a really good team to be my backbone and do that for me, that'd be cool. But at the same time, like at least with the social media aspect of it, it's cool to be able to interact with your fans that way because they're really talking.
Yeah, you're really that person.
I'm that guy.
I wish I can instill in some people's minds, like if you really want it, it's out there. Like go grab it, and you're not giving yourself no excuses.
That's the thing. Work ethic, and I'll say this time and time again: work ethic will always beat talent if it's you really.
That's what I'm saying. And it just sucks for the people that actually are talented that can't bring that hard work aspect. It sucks.
And they throw it away, or they just say, man, I'm just going to work that 9-to-5 job and do this for the rest of my life.
Dude,
that's not going to be me.
Yes.
That's why we don't have our Michael Jacksons and our Princes, because no one's trying to be a workhorse and and on top of with the talent.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I think it's a lot of kids are being told not to dream as big anymore. Like we're getting, our generation is stuck in the thing of, okay, so we were all taught to grow up and you can dream as big as you want.
Yeah.
But now we're getting into that generation of kids that are starting to see like, we're almost being told we're dreaming too big. Yeah. So you're getting that.
They're trying to they're trying to have limitations.
There's trying to be a cap of how big you can dream.
Yeah.
Basically. And then these kids grow up and they dreamt so big and they start to realize that, man, I didn't realize all of my dreams that are in their mind were possible when they were young, but maybe not as possible when they realized when they were a kid.
I'm not buying it. I want a G-Wagon next year.
Right.
Next year. Didn't they stop making G-Wagons?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
I see a lot of those in Miami.
And it seems like it's like, why can't I have it next year?
Right.
Really?
That's what I want. And it might sound crazy. Like it sounds like dreaming big sounds crazy to people.
But you got to have a plan. If you have a plan,
that's
and you
what
say,
I'm
going to do this, this, and this to get to this, it's going to happen.
And it's just crazy.
It's just a matter of time.
Write it down.
Write it down.
It sounds corny.
I'm
it's
a big
fun.
believer.
It's the truth.
Yeah, no, it's not. It is the truth, and it sounds corny for people to like literally get out a notebook and just like write their goals. I have a problem with it too. I'm the type of person that's just like I just want to do it.
Right.
I don't have the time to write the stuff down, but then the more I realize that that's so important.
Have the plan and, and activate it. Like
Speak it
we were
into
talking, have that
existence.
schedule and say, hey, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And if you only do one thing the whole day and that was one of the things on your list, it was a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how, about grinding every day. Like, it burns you out, but, like, honestly, you don't have to necessarily grind every single day. But when you do grind, make sure it's something that is of importance, something that is checking off something to move yourself to the next step. Like, just don't stay in the same spot for too long. You know what I mean? You can't. It's not gonna be good for your career or whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, whether it's meeting someone new that teaches you something, or just like we were saying earlier, just getting out of your comfort zone. Anything like it doesn't have to be team no sleep all the time.
Or team jump out of a helicopter or jump out of an airplane. You know,
Right,
It's-
like,
you can do anything.
You can. It doesn't have to be like
It
it's
doesn't have
not
to be crazy though.
It's not life or death if you don't get to where you thought you were going to be maybe by like 25 or what. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I see that all the time, and all these people think that like you need to make it by like a super young age.
Gotta be married and have kids and do this and do that. No, you don't.
don't.
There's no script to this. You make your own
Like
script.
who told you that?
Exactly.
Who told you that had to happen?
No.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
who? It's there's just a lot of limitations.
break
it
all the
seems.
rules.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Exactly.
Just
Do
don't
it your
mind
own
these
way.
limitations.
That's how
that-
great things come about. It's not always following the rules.
Being different.
Being different is what
Yeah.
makes you what you are.
Well, that's why my last album was called Never Give Up, and why the new record that I'm working on right now, I'm in the studio shooting the songs for that and recording them with Andy Reid,
Okay.
best producer in the area, Reid Recording Company. Highly recommend
Okay,
it.
I was gonna
can't
ask
say
you
that
who you
enough.
recorded
That's my
with.
guy. That's my producer and my audio engineer. He's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Very chill guy to work with. Very easygoing, and he just has an ear for the music. He knows, what this song needs, and it takes it one song at a time. Treats each song individually different, and that's phenomenal. To have a guy in your court, that says yes, but he also gives you the freedom to say, I want your opinion too. What do you think would be cool here? And him and I, we work so well together. This will be our third record now together, and this third one, I'm gonna call it Legacy, because
Okay.
I want to leave a legacy. My
That-
music will be the legacy.
That's crazy. You're now the second guest we've had on the show that's said
Second,
very
yeah.
good things about Andy Reid.
It's phenomenal.
And
Such a
I've
great guy.
we said in the Leland Blue episode as well that like I've only met him a couple of times when I was really young, like maybe before I even really got into production.
Yeah.
When I was like kind of seeing if like this is what I wanted to do, but I want to have him on the show. I want to talk to him. I want to see what
What his secrets are.
per se all the hype is about. I know he's a great guy.
I've never had the pleasure to meet him, but I would love to be able to learn some
He
stuff
also
from
does
him.
his own music. He's very talented in that, right? Too.
Yeah.
So you should have him on the show. Maybe have him play a song or two. of his
Yeah,
as well.
he every time it seems like every time that music in this area is talked about, somebody has something to say about Andy.
Yeah,
Reid.
he's
So,
mentioned in the sentence somewhere in the article.
yeah, whether it be the award or anything.
Shout out to Andy Reid.
Right.
Shout out Andy Reid. There's the shout out. There's a good shout out for the day. No, man, this episode has been enjoyable. I think there's a lot of good things to talk about. I think we just went on a really good tangent just about knowledge that people need to hear. Whether you're 15 years old watching this show or you're thinking that your career's over because you're 28 and haven't had a hit song yet, it's not true. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's just not. Like you just gotta face the facts that sometimes you're not gonna get to where you want to be, where you thought you would be
At this
that
time.
time.
But
yeah.
but there could be a reason behind that.
as long as you
Always.
get there.
Always
you know-
happens for a reason. Everything does.
No, you have to believe that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, is there any shows coming up people want you
Yes.
want to see people at?
The next local gig I have coming up in Saginaw, Michigan, is July 21st, and that's gonna be a big one. We'll be filming at it,
Hey,
documentary stuff.
Where's that at?
We're gonna record it too. It's going to be at the Pierce Road Bar and Grill,
Okay.
and
Okay.
Yep,
that's
I
my
know where
first.
that's
That's my
at.
first show there.
Right
so
by
that'll be fun.
Rated by Saginaw.
Saginaw Valley State
Yep.
University, right
Nice.
on Pierce Road there, next to the.
We'll make
7-Eleven.
sure we get the crew out there and come support you.
July
We got to.
21st. It's a Saturday night, 7:00.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, our crowd just heard it, so they better be there.
Yeah,
You
they
know
got
what I mean?
they
Like,
got 2 months to figure it out.
Yeah,
so
they-
they
it's-
got
Get
time
work
to do
off
that.
if you got to.
Yeah, please.
Or don't work the next day early if you got to.
yeah, and stay up if you're a night owl and go see the show. But where do we find your music at? Where's the best way to see?
Go to my website. It's GordyGarris.com. GordyGarris.com.
Hey,
There we go.
there it is. He
Easy.
spelled it out
Easy.
for you. Easy. I'm not wearing the easy hat today, but it's
Easy.
today's not as easy as it usually is. But
Yeah.
no, Gordy Garris
You got it.
fucked it up last time. Gordy Garris, thank you, dude, for
My
being on
pleasure.
Rage Radio with us.
Yeah.
We had a really good conversation with you. We plan on having you back. You know,
love to
when the
come
new
back
music
again,
comes out, and congratulations on filming your documentary.
Yes, thank
And
you.
everybody go see his show. What was it, July
21st.
21st. And check out all of his music on his website, GordyGarris.com. Thank you, Gary. Gordy. Fuck, I can't get it.
Bro.
Okay,
You'll
guys.
get it eventually, man. It's
All right, guys.
Yeah.
This man, that was a weird ending. This is
Play you guys another song, yeah.
yeah. This was episode 14 of Rage Radio, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.
the way you move me, the way you feel me. Try to find me, reach down inside me.